Hey, what it do, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube. And in case you haven't heard, Dead by Esports is now on Twitch. And to start things off on Twitch, DBE has kicked off with Blood Moon League 2. And we saw teams really bringing out the heat for our opening week. Not just teams starting off with throwing out some haymakers, but then teams even returning with some haymakers as well. So we're going to be sitting in on two banger sets. If you're wanting to catch the full video as far as these two matchups, I will leave those links down below, as those will be over on the DBE YouTube channel. But first, we will start on the Blood Lodge here to watch the Blight set between Dawn and Osiris. And if you've seen our recent comp killer tier list, you know just how much I love the Blight. And this is a perfect example of why Talbot Grimes is just so dope. Then after that, we're going to be going to the Suffocation Pit. Synergy and Theory get down with the sickness in a set that literally comes down to some endgame greatness. Don't forget to leave this video a like and a comment. Help us out with that good old YouTube algorithm. Help us get competitive DBD in front of more faces. And of course, if you make sure to hit that subscribe button, we are chasing down 500 over on the channel this summer, all right? Where we do post daily DBD content, not just competitive stuff, but fun builds, gameplay, as well as discussional videos like how to fix boons without replacing them. Spoiler, by the way, they added a perk pretty similar to what my fix was. Anyways, let's go ahead and get down to some Blood Moon League action. That's why y'all clicked on the video to begin with, right? If y'all want to keep up with what DBE has going on, as always, I'm going to have a link for their Discord down in the description below, right next to that live stream link, so you can come in and catch some games live. And until we do catch y'all back over here on the YouTube, don't forget, man, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder, all right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out. All right, let's go ahead and take another trip back into the fog here, starting off our matchup here between Osiris and Dawn, starting with the Blight here on the Blood Lodge. Actually going to be seeing Semsi out here for Dawn, able to find Nia here around the 30-second mark back here, kind of by shacking in our fun bus area. Going to be seeing Nia probably trying to stick this chase back to this corner area, try to allow our other three survivors to start moving within the rest of the map here to start attacking those generators. However, we do see, I was going to say Nia kind of moving back along this side. Don't think you're going to be able to make it back to fun bus. That's going to be a down around the 60-second mark.
That was a very nice down here, used the tiles around the funbus in a really good way, and is also able to hook in the active generators. This is going to be a Hex Ruin doing some work. We can hear how the generator is slowly ticking down. He's trying to find another survivor, but in the top row, actually he does find someone here behind this rock. I was not aware of this survivor over here. Great game sense by Samxi, being really aware of these surroundings, and this Fang is not reaching the pallet in time, so now you do have the pressure onto this generator. You know that there's a survivor in the distance just finishing a generator, and this is going to be unfortunate for Samxi, as Fang gets a lot of distance, and the unhook will come through as well, so immediate response by Team Osiris here.
Yeah, Osiris able to fight back here. I mean, even through the ruin, you're able to get a second survivor to finish generator number one, as well as you have the third survivor that is not currently in chase, or the fourth, you know what I mean. Able to rotate in and able to get the save itself. Also notice that we've gotten that reset pretty quickly done in place here as well. Of course, that's going to help whoever is currently on the gens, as there is a Thananophobia in play. So right now, the only slowdown is the 5% slowdown from the survivor that's currently in chase.
This is a nice down, as the slow vault was a nice idea, but unfortunately there was line of sight to Samxi, so he can just punish that from the survivor. We do see them teaming up on the midsection, a very important generator here at the hill, so I can totally understand that the survivors are going for that, but Claudette is going to take a hit. You could say like that's karma for attacking this gen here in the midsection, and Sam proving once again that he's aware of his surroundings, expects the survivor to go towards the top side, picking up the teammate. They will make the window though, but Feng is going to be out of position. The good news is you have pulled the aggression from the survivor that could be tunneled.
Yeah, now the question is going to be, how quick are we going to be able to see, one, the resets? And I was going to say, yeah, there's generator number 2. That's the big thing that I was going to be worried about, because we do see that we still have some injured survivors across the way. It makes me believe that we are trying to prioritize the generators over our friends itself. We do see, of course, we've found in this jungle gym some pools of blood as well as some scratch marks. So we do know that we have an injured survivor somewhere in the area. It does look like, though, Semsy not going to be able to track them down just right away. Oh, actually, there they are right on the backside here. That's going to be the Nia. Back down onto the ground we go, back up onto our shoulder. This is now going to be hook stage number 3.
This is going to be... I think this game is in this typical moment right now where the next chase decides over a lot here, because Sam is close to getting his elimination in, which is really going to increase the pressure for him. And the survivors are doing a phenomenal job right here with the DH, with the pressure on the generators, pulling the aggression away from the hooked mate. So this next moment is going to decide how the match is going to end. And Sam does decide to go for the tunnel out of this survivor, but there is going to be a quick reset coming in onto Doodle, the nurse. The Nia is running down towards the fun bus here. Now we do see the chase being taken in the midsection here, interrupting the generator as well and going for the pop kick. So you can also tell that Sam cannot just go for the elimination here. He is forced to keep an eye on these gens because he realizes the pressure is growing.
Oof. Yeah,
oh, very nice.
I mean, this is going to be at least a good down here in the middle of the map. Also, keep in mind, this is the Nia that was already just recently on the hook. That is going to at least now be the 3v1. Yeah, the ruins cleanse, but at least we have now removed a survivor in exchange for that. Also still sitting the 3 gens here. Oh, it was a survivor actually that we had located around it. Not only was it a survivor, this is our injured Claudette as well. This could be rather big for Semsy here, though. Instead, breaking away from Chase, I think, trying to see if we can locate which generator has some good progress on it. And it actually, it's not only this gen that has the progress on it, we have another survivor over here as well.
Now going to be the interesting question if that's the injured one or no. He's just breaking back towards this generator down here. Our survivors are doing a really good job in spreading these pressures. Sam has only time to apply a quick pop kick and then he's forced to go back onto the objectives here. It's going to be the vault onto Shack. I don't want to drop the Shack pallet just yet. That might backfire for playing it greedy here. The firecracker is coming through and wonderful blind onto Sam here, but too early out of the locker there. Karma is going down here at the Shack. Unfortunate for Team Osiris. The question is, what does the generator pressure look like? And is there one of these getting completed? There's the one in the distance Sam was trying to defend earlier here. So they are getting the pressure in, but with 3 men, it's going to be more difficult now.
Yeah, and this is also going to be valuable. It's another fresh hook here for you too. So when we talk about if for any reason there's an end game play, we're already starting to at least limit the amount of points that could be going out. Really good navigation to be able to find the tag here onto the Atom as well. So we're talking about 2 survivors injured currently, 10% slowdown from the Thananophobia. Another kick of that pop goes the Weasel onto our generator here as well. Now going to be taking chase with our Atom. Don't think we're going to be able to make it anywhere. Do keep in mind though, this down is right next to the hook where we had sacrificed our survivors, so we are going to at least have to take a little bit of a stroll here.
Now it's going to be hook stage number 5 or 6. I think it's 6, right? It's a little bit blurry for me. Coming in for Samuel. Yeah, hook stage number 6. So he's halfway through the objective there. He has the fresh hooks on the hook as well, so the bonus points are coming in, and he does locate another survivor. And actually there's one in the midsection going for the save here, so you have information about everyone's location here. This is going to be Claudette also running back into the hook, and the rescuer is around here. This might be a little bit of a group up.
Yeah, this is tough because, of course, now you know where you had just seen the one. Now you've got the pair over here. All survivors being injured. All of them can be taken down relatively quickly. And, of course, with the Blight's ability to close the gap between them and, let's say, another survivor they see off in the distance, once there is a down, we could be potentially trying to close this trial here within the next couple minutes. Here's at least a down in the middle of our map. I think we're going to be taking at least a quick gander around. Don't see anybody. Just going to go ahead and take this survivor and roll him up on a hook.
It's going to be tough now, right? The survivors will have to face a difficult decision here, and that's going to be, are we going for a reset, trying to attack another generator and get an additional generator out? Do we take something risky here to secure a generator, or are we maybe setting up one of these survivors for an end game play? And with Karma being located here at the shack, you potentially want to have Adam rotate over towards the safe there, so you do know, oh, it's the Deliverance still available there, don't mind me, but this is going to be difficult, right? Because nobody can work on a gen really if Sam keeps interrupting them back to back here and gets the quick down. So as long as he does manage to do that, he will be in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be, second win coming in there. I was going to say, I think that was the second stage. So that's actually, so it does help, right? Because you don't have to worry about the getting healed here, as we've seen Semzi be able to, rotate and switch targets pretty quickly. You don't have to worry about getting healed, especially as we do have only 2 generators left to be done here. It would really be nice, I'm sure, to at least be able to get one of these things done. That way, maybe you can put just a little bit more pressure onto the Survivor squad coming out. And this next round here from Osiris. But at this point, going to be a down on into our Adam. We're going to be seeing this Survivor actually rotate a little bit more center map. I like this because we know that this generator, they continue to work on here. So I would imagine we're just going to give it another pop kick after this hook here. Plus, you have the Fang, who was the only fully healthy survivor that's still around. So you've got plenty of information here.
It's now Feng going to take the hit, so our Adam can make some distance here. Sam is going to lose some seconds, but she is stuck here in the midsection next to the car. Hearts going down quite quickly here, so this is going to be generator number 4 though, and generators, as we have seen some very impressive blights on Bloodlodge getting the 4K, so a generator can make a huge difference, especially when it forces the difference between a 3-gen can be ignored and a 3-gen needs to be broken, because now, if we assume Sam would get the 4K here, they will be forced to break a 3-gen, and that is actually going to be quite tricky for Team Dawn on the survival side.
Yeah, it puts just that little bit of extra pressure here, right? And honestly, that's with us discrediting any sort of end game play here. We do still have the potential for that here as well, especially because we see not going to go for the not going to go for the slug here. Is going to go for that instant pickup. Not even worried if anyone's around, as far as with that survivor being down in the pallet space. Worth mentioning that is going to be at least hook stage number 2 here onto our Claudette, and you have a chance to locate down your slug as well.
Yeah, the bleed out play would be the chance, but unfortunately Adam didn't really put much energy into traveling far. He's still here on this rock, so this is going to be a 28-8 in favor of Team Dawn here. Really, really good performance from Sam to get this started, but we talked about it, right? You did force Team Dawn into a survivor game where they need to break that final 3-gen in order to get all generators done. So this is something Osiris can really, really work with.
Yeah, I think it at least gives you some motivation here, right? Like, at least it gives you the point of, hey, we don't need to even get stages out. And again, I know we always make it sound so simple. I just simply can complete the gens, right? But it at least makes it so you talked about you can at least kind of play into that situation though too. On the flip side, I don't know. I love when you see the fight from both sides in trial number 1, even like we had kind of seen in our last matchup here. We had talked about and anticipated this being or at least I did anticipate this being a 3-set matchup, and I think after set number 1, I'm sticking with that.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. This is maybe one of the first times where we agree on our predictions. Usually we have quite opposite, but I have to agree. Also, this second trial is going to be so important for the mindset and for the reminder of the trial here. Team Dawn will load in with saying, oh, we just need the generators. The killer of Team Osiris is going to load in with, oh, yeah, exactly, you need all generators. So I'm going to play around a 3-gen here. Wouldn't be surprised if we do maybe see this slowly working their way into comp Dying Light Thanatophobia combination, being very aggressive, because if it works, you take the set. If it doesn't work and backfire, you lost set 1 anyway. So you could try something risky. The score is going to reset after. So going to be interesting what Osiris is going to bring out on the Blight here. We're going to catch you with that after a break. Welcome back, everybody, to the second trial between Osiris on the killer side and Dawn on the survivor side. Win condition is clear. We need all generators completed, and this is going to be the Dying Light Thanatophobia combination. We talked about it before heading into this game. It's a risky combination because it does rely on getting multiple injuries across the trial and the team, but he does need it kinda, as Osiris is under some pressure here. A 4K on all generators being completed is not going to be the easiest task. Toadette doing a good job here so far, and actually bamboozling our killer a little bit. The Volt is coming through, but we are nearly 60 seconds without an injury yet.
Yeah, we are going to see, though, now getting the tag onto the Claudette here. We were able to use it without depleting too many of our charges as far as our lethal rushes there, which does mean that's going to come back very quickly as far as with the cooldown here. Now I'm going to be able to close this gap that the Claudette was able to use with that Shack pallet here, trying to make sure that, oh, there we are able to maintain and get this down. We're sitting around the 85-second mark, of course, with no Ruin being in the trial right now. Not going to be surprised if our survivors did just stick those gen, and yeah, going to be seeing at least number 1, might even be seeing a second one popping here by the time we leave Shack.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a second one. I have to wonder, though, if Xayas does even care, because he does have the 3-gen setup here around the Shack, right? You have a basement hook. You do start leveling your Dying Light. So it's not the best 3-gen you can work with, but you are Blight, you are high mobility, and if you do keep the pressure down onto the Survivor team, and talking about pressure, they are already in the basement here, going for the save, trying to make it turn as quick as possible. This is going to be the BT hit, and Mac is going to take a hit and trying to pull the aggro. Xayas is just not going to go for that, though. Oh, never mind, he's switching his opinion, and a beautiful play around the entire Shack is going to be a quick down onto Forgiven. So this is going to be basement hook number 2, Dying Light leveling up. Our killer is looking quite strong here.
Yeah, looking really good. Your Dying Light's leveling up. Your Claudette had to not only get healed, but get mended as well. That's extra time. Taking at least the heal, more than likely, from somebody off of the gen. They could have mended themselves, but now you're able to quickly find yourself another survivor to get the tag onto. That going to be the Felix. Now back to that 10% slowdown on that Thanatophobia. Thanks to the assistance from that, we are going to be seeing, I believe, that the Deliverance in the basement across the way here while we're in chase over here by Funbus. Going to be stuck in a decision. Do we stay or do we go? Looks like we decided to double back and head towards our Shack. I don't know if we're going to be able, actually doing a good job of being able to continue with our tracking here, keep our Meg in our sights here, and we have to keep in mind, though, that survivor was is the survivor that was just on a hook. Nice blind, though, with the firecracker moving into our TNL here, trying to keep the separation. The question is, do you make the move? And unfortunately, we bolt right into our Blight here.
Good move by our Blight. Forgiven is going to go back onto the hook here. So Dying Light stack 3 and Mac available for elimination very soon. We see someone on the hill. Our killer caught that in the corner of the eye as well. And this is going to be a chase towards the hook. And with the balanced landing, you're actually making that in time, though. Is it going to be a trade, or is he going to focus the Mac? I do think the elimination will have priority here. Mac still with the BT, trying to force the window there, and is now trying to bamboozle Xayas here as well. By which lane are they actually using? This is the next, and there's the ace out of nowhere. So they are actually trying to switch up here with the aggression, and Max survived once again.
Yeah, doing a very good job of just throwing the curveballs left and right, trying to make sure that you continue this, like, the process as far as this mid game with your survivors, right? You talked about prolonging the tunnel out process. This is another fresh hook. Yeah, sometimes you're worried about the fresh hooks because you want to make, the plays as far as getting hooks out the door. But when your win condition is just simply getting the gens done when you hand over those fresh hooks, it's a lot of hang time.
Yeah, these 2 minutes might really hurt Osiris Killer here if he is not getting a quick down and the progress on the elimination. And talking about progress of the elimination, you ask for it, you are receiving it. This is forgiven going down, and this is going to be the 3v1 scenario with 5 stacks of Dying Light. I actually think that our Killer has the good control over the match. He has everything necessary to set himself up for the win condition here. We might actually see him pulling this off.
Yeah, this could get rather interesting here. I mean, especially we've seen a couple of times already throughout our trial here. Pop goes the Weasel, it and play that 25% instant regression, able to be earned every time you do get a hook. It's interesting that we haven't seen a pop applied anywhere around back here. I mean, understandable. You found yourself a Claudette. Let's go ahead and get ourselves another down. Of course, you also get the additional slowdown, not only just from that Dying Light, but for the instant, you had 2 injured survivors, which is an additional 5% slowdown, plus somebody was getting healed. Now going to be getting our Claudette, though, down all the way back here in this corner. Not sure if maybe trying to pull his aggro back, maybe even the 2 survivors that got healed might even be doubled up on a gen, trying to get at least generator number 4, because that would at minimum put themselves in a tie condition here.
Yeah, I think the tie is what you're aiming for, right? Because if you can just rerun it, I do think Osiris might be in the better spot here, because Sam came in with a very strong 4K and Osiris managed to stick up to that performance, and that is always going to benefit you. And especially if we now play the tiebreaker in alternating order, it would be Osiris Killer playing straight again, and what he's showing us right now just looks strong. So I don't think this Killer would mind to just play another trial like this.
Yeah, I think I think I'd have to agree with that wholeheartedly there. I think, though, we got to make sure that we're not discrediting what could happen at this point. I mean, we saw one gen, yeah, had a decent amount of progress, but here we are, got ourselves another down. Should be able to get over there if we want to apply that Pop Goes the Weasel. Also be able to hunt down this Claudette, who only needs a single M1 to end up on the ground as well. So, I mean, who knows, right? You could potentially even be playing for a dub here still.
He might pull that off. Yeah, his pressure is on point. He's absolutely aware of where to go next and where the pressure of the survivors is happening. He might have used the pop kick a little bit too early there, because this progress over here is more than on the other generator. But now you have sent the Felix away. You need to keep an eye onto the Claudette. You do locate this survivor, but Felix might just hop on the generator to force it done to completion and going for the tiebreak. And it's going to be the down. He might rush back now to the rescue if he's greedy, or he's just keeping it safe, though. I do like it, and he does also get the pop kick. Yeah, that's a very important point here, and I do like this decision, right? He could potentially end it right here, but he does not want to pick the risk here, and he says, now I want to win and not go for a tiebreaker, and I really like this confidence.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where, like you had mentioned, yeah, you could have overextended, gone for the slug, gone for the 4K. Maybe it works out, but then also maybe it doesn't. And if it doesn't, and then you haven't also secured yourself the extra hook, then you're really asking yourself some questions here. Yeah, here at this point, we have 3 survivors now all in the field of play, 2 of them being injured, so at least generators being slowed, not only down by the 10%, thanks to that then the nanophobia, but 7 stacks of that Dying Light here as well. Nice vault to at least be able to avoid the injured state. But now with this M1, going to be 15% slowdown. Thanks to that, the nanophobia. I was going to say we might want to leave this chase. We might want to go in and double check on our generator that we know has a lot of progress, mostly because we haven't seen a heal come in. So we know our survivor is trying to stick over here. Nice play to be able to get the down. And this is Jen right over here by the shack is about to get another Pop Go the Weasel kick.
Yeah, this is really huge now. This Pop Goes the Weasel, the second time, is actually half a generator, and he does realize that he has the time to even go for the basement. Felix is pulling back, Claudette is pulling back as well. The tactic might be, let's pull back, let's reset, attack these generators, just go for the tie, or trying to switch it into an end game play and get the win with the additional stages taking out of the door there. That's also a way how Dawn could take the win here in set number 1. It's staying really close, though. I do think, though, they might just pull back entirely and then attack the generators from 0.
Yeah, I feel like right now your best bet would be to pull back and at least get one reset. But, you know, I understand the feeling the pressure, especially when we have seen how many times that one generator has gotten the pop kick and known how much progress you really have put into the gens, all things considered, including all of the regression, wanting to at least get that last one done. But sometimes, just like we were worried earlier about our killer overcommitting, now might be worried about seeing the flip side of that as far as our survivors here. But now at this point, going to be coming back over, checking in on this gen. We can see somebody has at least tapped it because it stopped regressing, going to be giving it another dry kick, but this thing's now under 50%, so it's going to be around 50 seconds worth of objective time to complete that gen if it is solo, unless it regresses further from now.
Trying to, or just casually removing some resources while the survivors are still trying to coordinate. We do see Claudette coming out of a locker here. Semxi not taking any risk, and our killer is locating our survivor here. So this is going to be rough, right? Because now the survivors pulled back. Felix won't find a generator with a lot of progress here. He could finish, at least, if I am not mistaken. So now the only option is going to be the end gameplay. Let's calculate real quick. If this Felix would get out of the door, it would be forced 4 points missing on the killer side, 2 points for the escape. There would be 6 points. That would actually change it into a win.
That would actually be really big here. So I mean, now things really, this is that weird kind of standoff, right? Because as the killer, essentially, I don't want to say you've earned yourself a W, because obviously you still need to make sure that you secure this 4K, but you've fought back under, I think, what a lot of people were kind of expecting to be pretty unsurmountable odds. Now looking at where a W is within your reach here, now you just have to make sure you don't overextend. You have to make sure you don't lose your slug, and also find the Felix. This is intense.
And the pressure is rising, right? You keep an eye on this bleed out timer again and again and again, and you do start being forced into this decision making of like, when do I pick up? Do I lose maybe track of Semxi? That's another thing. You do need to hook this survivor, so you are constantly forced between going back, keeping an updated eye onto the slugged survivor, and trying to find the Felix here. And once again, if Felix escapes this trial, it is actually going to be the win for Team Dawn here. So in this case, they do not need to worry about generator number 4 being completed. And this is going to be really rough here, and I do feel like they are doing a good job so far. Semxi is now forcing the potential pickup here, so it's going to be Felix playing for the ultimate endgame.
Yeah, but the only problem is it looks like we should be able to secure this, what is going to be an elimination hook, in the basement here, which means we should be right by where we need to be as far as for the hatch here. So unless we're able to make a tricky door play, I'm not sure if maybe we have a wake up available, or if maybe even we're able to do like one of those 20%. But I mean, you can see the doors look really good.
Yeah, and this is now going to be tough for our survivor. Actually, there are lights on the door. They hopped on it immediately. This is going to be resilience as well onto the Felix here. Karushu, this is so close. The exit gate is actually going to open up. There's the win for set number 1. But Xayas for Team Osiris coming in close enough and quick enough, and this is going to be the elimination on 2 generators still standing. So a loss by 2 points here on the survivor team. Osiris is taking set number 1 with a 36-34, and this is going to be a moral loss for Team Dawn they need to shake free from.
Yeah, this is going to be big for Dawn, especially because Dawn's survivors come out right in this very next trial, right? Yeah, it's another set, so the score is reset. But, you know, the last thing you want is one of these first couple of chases going south and kind of get that, oh, here we go feeling again. Big shout out, though, to our killer here from Osiris coming in again. I think a lot of people thought at like the best case scenario going into this trial was probably, oh, hopefully maybe we can play for a tie. Instead, fighting through everything and pulling off the W here, that is huge.
Welcome back, everybody. You noticed we had only 3 survivors, so our very official and strong lead senior head match staff, Kasi, went down to Theory and checked what is happening there, and we did come up with a no-fault restart here. So everyone can adjust their builds, no penalties are being taken. So we do see Matt once again. This time it's going to be the question if he does manage to zone a survivor once again and go for the aggressive play with the power here, because it does seem like Theory got a good hint of how Matt planned to play this and is now immediately adapting their playstyle a little bit.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting to see here. However, you know, I feel like sometimes we forget that when you do go for this like corrupt, like the waiting out corrupts strategy here, sometimes that also means you're lacking in your side of the objective too, right? And you know, with a killer with experience like Mad here, I don't know if that's a risk I want to take. I think we might have seen somebody. No? Oh, I thought we had seen somebody on the wall there, or at least on the other side. I must have been mistaken. But now just going to be going to our uncorrupt gens, going to start using just the puke as kind of a tracking method here to try and locate our first survivor.
Yeah, really interesting how Theory is now switching the game plan around here. Almost hiding out Corrupt at this point, 20 more seconds, and then the entirety of a perk has been removed from the game here. So that is, especially compared to Trial 1, that's going to do something with Matt, right? Because you do notice that different form of pressure here, and that the survivors are getting away with this hiding out of Corrupt. That's going to affect you.
Yeah, this is gonna be big here. Now what's gonna be interesting is I think now when you see as far as Mad coming out here, what does the first chase look like, right? Now actually not even gonna worry about the first chase, gonna go ahead and start aggressive here. You mentioned potential of maybe picking up one of those pools. I think he had heard a little bit of progress on this gen, thought he could spot a survivor. We do have some scratch marks over on our left. This is actually heading towards the shack here, but you know, if we're over here, you know, this is more time that our survivors could be back over on that main side of the map, starting to hit up those gens that were originally uncovered by the corrupt itself. Unfortunately, not going to be able to find a connection here with the first use of our corrupt purge. Now going to be able to get at least the first health state change on to our Nancy. That means our survivors now know at least about the thanatophobia, as they're going to see that 5% slowdown onto the generator itself. Working along this jungle, actually able to play things very patient, forces the break, and of course with the double apple add-on, that means no amulet add-on, that means no extension of the power, and we're already out of it.
Yeah, this is a really rough start for Meadow 5 here. And for Team Synergy, needs to get this down. And Nancy does manage to make it over the pallet here. So this is getting more and more pressure. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the first generators coming out very soon here. Since we don't see one yet, that is going to be the consequence of splitting up and hiding out the corrupt intervention here. Now they're getting it started. 4 generators to go. But Nancy with a mistake going down here on this TNL. Meadow 5 now really needs to get the pressure started.
Yeah, we do hear, though, generator number 2 getting complete. Wouldn't be surprised to see generator number 3 popping here shortly in succession. We are going to see, though, Matt is going to try and rotate this survivor a little bit more central. Not going to be able to put pressure onto any generators right away. Fakes the pull of the purge. I think maybe was trying to see if you could force any movement out of who they think might be working on this generator that has just a little bit of progress right off in the distance. And I think right now, I don't know if the pulling the other corrupt pool would be quite the situation yet. I feel like maybe you want to pull a little bit of snowball here with your vile purge before going for the corrupt purge itself. What do you think, Dyer?
Yeah, this is... it's rough, right? On Plague, with the number of options you have on the killer side, on the survivor side, it's really, really rough. I do think Theory could pull back entirely, go for some cleanses in those areas maybe where they have just done the generators. I also wouldn't be surprised if they stick to the generators. It's going to be interesting to find out about Theory's playstyle here. I do think they have access to both, since they just have 6 survivors at this point, and this is really close, but they actually managed to go all the way into the map corner here, and they used the trees in such a beautiful way. So this was actually so much time being taken. Matt's pressure is not as we need it right now.
Yeah, and this is going to be big, especially because, you know, when you bring in the double apple, it gives you the extra pulls, you know, as much as you can. But now the only pull that's left is a pull that's buried in the corner. And unless you already have a survivor over here, that's not going to be very big value for you. I mean, yeah, you're going to be able to use it to maybe protect this hook. But if we've got people on gens across the way, I mean, it's not too much value within itself. I mean, we'll see a dry kick here. No pop goes to the Weasel, so no 25% regression. Already getting the save here, I would assume, is the Megan, as they got sick pretty well as the save came across. So now going to be seeing Mad trying to double check in over here, try and locate the survivors. We do see, of course, the auras from that Rancor here, but we saw that they were split up, so might not be too surprised to be seeing a 5th generator getting complete soon. We can hear this one has a whole lot of progress on it. Also seeing some scratch marks, trying to see if we can at least establish one more down here, as we are sitting at very minimal stages moving towards the end game.
It's now going to be a nice mind game by Matt here on this pallet, getting an injury in. We do see the cleanse crossed away onto Jay, so this is going to be a good form of counterplay, we could say, because Matt gets an injury over here, they get a reset over there. So it's really back and forth here, but with 3 stages and the power about to run out, and Matt would need to go all the way towards the bottom side to pick up the power far away from the generators. It's going to be rough, right? And if Theory manages to go for all 5 generators here very soon, they might pull an impressive result here. Unfortunately, though, our injured survivor pulling Matt towards this corrupted pool, allowing him to pick it up without losing too much pressure, and this might be a mistake.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be big. I mean, now there's going to be another generator getting complete. We are going to get that sound notification here. That's going to be from that No Way Out. 3 stacks on that bad boy means 48 seconds until our survivors can start attacking the doors. Unfortunately, Matt does check the wrong corner, allows more distance for our survivors. We have to keep in mind we have already used the pallet that is in this space itself, so we should at least see a down here at this point. But when we talked about the 3 stacks, there's not going to be too much. That is the Rancor. So when the moon hits your eye and it's your turn to die, that's Amores. That is going to be an elimination here at this point. Don't know if you're, well, the doors just now got that No Way Out, so you might still be able to secure one more down in some hook stages here.
Yeah, this is a really huge move by Matt here with the Rancor. There was a fresh hook on top, so 10-point swing immediately towards Matt 05 here. We do see one of the survivors waiting on a hill. Keep in mind, exhaustion perks are allowed in the group stage against Plague, so this might be a balanced landing. That's not the case, though. So it is going to be a mind game on this filler pallet here, and with being injured already, I do think Matt doesn't worry too much about this survivor potentially getting out, but she does... she is doing a good job here. Our Claudette, I said Mac earlier, Claudette is doing a phenomenal job here on this pallet. This might just be the commitment to this survivor, and the rest is going to escape. However, Matt effectively pushed this from 3 to 8 stages during endgame.
Yeah, that's a really big turnaround. Really getting big value as far as your build here. You talk about not only finding the... Oh, no way. Stop. I know we've been seeing some breakout becoming shifted in the meta. Is this... Oh, I was about to say, can you imagine?
That would be rough, right? If you lose that here with the high jump in your game and then denied by a breaker, that would have been huge here. Theory, though, showing us great efficiency here, and they do take a lot of stages out of the door, 4, in fact. But we have to say, though, Matt's end game here, considering how he lost the pressure in the early game, was really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those perfect examples that we see. I think especially, I would say I'm very wary of saying across the board, but almost across the board in competitive DBD when it comes to our killers. Being able to keep that cool, calm, and collect head throughout the trial, understanding the assignment, right? And kind of understanding, hey, maybe I couldn't complete my game plan thus far, but maybe I can make something happen because I trust my own abilities and know I've got that ace in the hole. In this case, being the funny enough, the ace actually with the Rancor, and then you're able to get one more elimination there in the end. That was huge. All right, let's go ahead and take one more trip into the fog here. I should say one more trip, another trip here on into the fog. Currently, right now on the survivor side is going to be Synergy, currently up 6 points thanks to a really strong end game from their killer. But in theory, that could all turn around here thanks to a really strong performance from Eric. We are going to be seeing also coming out with that double apple add-on and actually able to find a survivor relatively quick. The question is, does this turn into a relatively fast down as well?
Yeah, 8 stages is always a very interesting win condition, right? Because it can flip into both directions. The killer needs to do a really, really good job and get a lot of stages in. The survivors still need to take some stages out, so it's not enough on their side either to just get the generators done. We do see the tactic for this game is to infect all survivors as quick as possible across the team. He does get a good job so far. 50% are infected, so very soon is going to be the broken status effect leading into the penalty with the Thanatophobia there. We do see no way out, and the Rancor being the same approach pretty much as Matt05 here, and he does rotate back towards the shack though. And we have to mention one thing where Synergy is in a worse position than Theory. They're chasing in the active gens.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, the one thing to keep in mind, no, you had already called out the build, right? No Ruin really protecting the gen. So if you can at least play patient, not give up too many extra health states in the sense of kind of the way Claudette does, right? Pre-leave, make sure you're not getting any, even just a little bit of sickness that can turn into more a little bit later. But now at this point, going to be seeing Eric opt to go ahead and pick up the Corrupt Purge pretty well as the Corrupt Intervention expires here. Able to find the Lori, going to be able, oh, Lori actually able to miss the Corrupt Purge here. Nice tuck as far as with the Neil. This point, though, is going to be going down. Oh, this is risky. Is there anyone around? Oh, imagine.
Yeah, there was actually.
There's someone so close.
That would have been huge, right? If they have managed to pull that off. Matt, I think, got a little bit too optimistic after he didn't get caught on the TNL there. But nice idea here by Team Synergy. Unfortunate, though, that the hook is coming out quite in the center of the map, because in Suffocation Pit now Eric will be able to monitor who's on the top side and who's on the bottom side, and crossing will be really, really difficult here. On the other hand, they can knock out the generators far away at the main building and here behind the shack. So good for both teams in different circumstances, and we do actually see that Eric is trying to locate the survivor, and that is going to be successful. So a quick second down coming in.
Yeah, this is gonna be big here. It does. Yo, right there. You're good, Eric? There you go. Oh, no way! It's a flashlight here, which is going to allow for the drop on to Nia. This is going to be big right now. Eric needs to be able to keep cool, calm, and collect. That was the one thing that we said our killer last round did a very good job with as far as for Synergy, right? Was able to get a lot of hooks in the end game. You've already gotten yourself a couple, or you at least got yourself the one. Yeah, you had the incident here, but you still are taking chase over here. You can still get yourself another down before a second gen pops.
He's now going to be off in a pallet once again. We have seen Synergy going for this play, and there are the scratch marks. Lori is here, but Lori is injured, and I'm not sure if this is going to be enough to the pallet there. No, he's waiting in front of the pallet as well. Is there another one being prepared for a pallet save? Do they have pallet savers left and right? No, they are going on to a hooky. Unfortunately, the firecracker also coming in too late, and now things are becoming spicy because there's the corrupt pool right here, and the survivors are kind of busy running after the pressure of Eric.
Yeah, we talked about, having to rotate over, get that one survivor off of the ground. That does pull somebody off of a gen. So right now, in exchange for 2 hooks, also 2 successive hooks, right? Meaning that survivor can be removed with this next hook once they're taken off the one they're currently on. Right now, only 2 gens in return for it. There's a third one popping off in the distance. Also, as that third gen pops, we are going to get a little bit of information as far as those auras, right? Those the captures that you get from the Rancor lets us know where we can be playing here. And I think this is just going to be a camp into a death stage.
Now Laurie waiting for the death, we could say, because this doesn't look like any chance of a teammate rescuing. Matt is going to die on hook here with 2 generators remaining, so the elimination to a 3v1 is coming in significantly quicker than in the last trial, though they took the Rancor in the end game to achieve that. But the survivors are going for the cleanse here, 3v1 scenario with everyone healthy. Do you think it might be a good idea here, or what we are going to see, that they're trying to stealth out this power here?
Yeah, I would imagine what you're going to do is you stealth out this power. You've at least got, well, I guess you can't stealth everything out because there's a pallet getting thrown. Oh, unfortunately getting caught just by the edge there as well, as far as for the first health state change. But I think now at this point, you probably got survivors attacking the other side of the map. That's a very unfortunate down here. I mean, we did use this hook that's behind us for our last elimination hook, but you can see there's a hook there. But I don't even think Eric's worried about that hook. I think Eric's really trying to put this thing, put the pedal down to the metal with a basement hook here, as we see generator number 4 popping in the distance.
He's now going basement hook is very good and very, very strong. The question is, how high is the value, right? Because we do see a generator valve in the distance. As you mentioned, they can work on these generators, and I don't think the basement hook is coming in clutch really, because you do need to rotate over to stop these survivors. 2 more pools are going to be available, though we do see some scratch marks here on the right side. He's not going to follow that because he wants to find survivor number 3, who might rotate towards the top side and get the save. I do feel like this match is on edge, right? Whoever, if we do see a quick down here, it might go in favor of the killer. If we do see a good run, it might switch towards the survivors, but Vapala is not in a good spot here.
Yeah, this is really tough, especially because if you get downed over here, you'll be able to get a kick onto this gen. You can hear that thing rocking out out behind us. That thing's just about ready to get to popping. So right now, you need to secure this down. Even though you don't have a pop goes the weasel, even just the dry kick with the regression is going to help you a little bit on this generator here. Plus, you can play defense. But we see creeping in behind, there's a survivor who came in trying to... I was going to say, beat the timer here. I thought maybe we were trying to make a play with the adrenaline. Not going to be the case. However, in the same situation as last time, a lot of hook states to be accrued here in the end game. We've got 1 survivor down. We had the sound notification across the way. 3 stacks of that, no way out. 48 seconds till the doors can even start being powered, and our Claudette is injured.
And he does actually have a good stack here with the doors. The timer's still running. You do have a little bit of time left here, and you just need 9 stages if I'm not mistaken, right? So if these 2 survivors here that are currently on hook would die, I think there would be even 10 stages if I'm not mistaken. So if you just confirm these kills here, which is going to be difficult enough if the survivor is rotating in, but you are about to pull this win here.
Yeah, this is extremely tough. I mean, we can see Claudette would at least have the benefit of the hope right now. That will eventually run out, so I would imagine we're going to at least try and make a play with that, but I don't... Oh, man, I don't know. This is tough.
It's really rough, right? He has a perfect setup here with the doors. He zoned the survivors towards the bottom side, got the hooks in here. Eric has done everything to set himself up for a really, really strong end game, and we do see him being rewarded here. Crazy is going to go into the next hook stage here, and they are trying to go for a rescue with the BT potentially still being an option here, but it does run out. So this is going to be the down, and now it's going to be the question, where's our Claudette here? They might have an unbreakable onto the Nia, but the time for the survivors is running out because the stages are moving closer and closer towards 8.
Yeah, I think the Claudette we had seen was in the jungle gym area right up in front of us there, was more rotating back towards mid. I think was trying to see if maybe they can get an angle if they happen to go for a pick on the survivor that is currently down in the shack. But, Eric knows better than that. As survivor is just off the hook there, you want to still be able to at least make sure you're, waiting out the time for potential DS. We have yet to see that here. The last thing you would want to do would be giving up that much of your pressure here in the end game. So going to go with the slug. And yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, Claudette has indeed been hooked already, which would mean that you need to get a save on one of these survivors.
And this is tough, right? Because we do see the elimination coming in. There's going to be the pickup, but they won't make it really fun. Nia is going down, and there's the Claudette, and Derek doesn't even care because he knows if I hook this, it's going to be the hook stages I need. So really, really strong starting point here by Theory, and I will say they surprised me here because given that Synergy is the Spanish roster of Team Cold, I was actually considering them the favorite.
Yeah, I think, first off, I got to say big shout out to both of our killers here in this matchup because both showed a really good example of keeping a cool, calm, and collect head and being able to really pull out big results in the end game here. So now that's going to be what we're seeing as far as going to be following these stretch marks. Yeah, the hatch is closed. It's just more a matter of when than a matter of if. One last time, one last 1v1. 1v1 enjoyers? No, I don't think so.
In theory, that would be nice, but I don't think these two opponent teams have the needed synergy to spontaneously go for an 1v1 here at the shack side, so it is going to be a stun instead. And our survivor here doing a very nice last chase. Meanwhile, it's going to be Theory taking set number 1 after a very strong performance here, and the second set is going to be Oni, right? And Oni is a great killer to play competitive on, but I always feel like it's not a great set if you need to win it, because Oni doesn't allow any mistakes.
Yeah, Oni. I always enjoy Oni when you watch it there, right? Like you do. You talked about the mistakes. It's same way, kind of like with Plague, but in the opposite sense. Once the mistakes start, you can get one shot down at any point, not just whenever your friend goes and gets the sniper, right? So, I always love watching the Oni because you expect to watch some very patient looping from the survivors early. But it's not like your traditional M1 where your best friend is the body blocks, because the body blocks just puts more blood in play, which just gives you more for your power. So it really kind of breaks down to the core mechanics on the survivor side, and kind of while on the killer side, having that the snowball potential multiple times to the game is really fun to watch.
Yeah, that is really, really fun for us. I do think for the teams it's exciting as well, but if you're in the position of Synergy where you need to pull a win in set number 2, it could be quite pressuring, and I do think that Eric, in case he is playing killer again, will use the pressure from the play game to just continue his very, very well done performance. So we are going to find out if Synergy can fight back, or if Theory is putting up one surprise here in Blood Moon League Day 1. All that after a short break.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me, but you will never be as fresh as see you in.